Oh, you guys didn't need to start here, but let's do it. Anyways, let me tell you about this thing called a Sprite. I know you got thirsty. We started talking about it. It's called a red Sprite in the atmosphere. And we're going to show you a cool video in a second of it, but let's talk about where it is in the atmosphere first. So this is us down here. This is a thunderstorm. The troposphere is where our weather happens, and basically where the air that we breathe comes from. Stratosphere is above that. Mesosphere is up here, and this is where you can observe this phenomenon called a Sprite, which it's about 30 to 50 miles up in the atmosphere, and that's why you don't see it from land. You have to see it either from a relatively high elevation plane, or you can see it from the spacecraft. So here's where we are. From the International Space Station, this was a Sprite that was caught this week, and you can see it circled there. It's kind of hard to tell the relative elevation, but what's happening underneath it is a thunderstorm. So let's go back to the graphic that we just showed you. So what happens with these is basically most lightning strikes have a negative charge, but about 5% or a little bit less have a positive charge. These strikes are thought to be about 10 to 15 times stronger than other charges. They get so hot, they basically vaporize the atmosphere into ions, and then ion cloud drifts up above the thunderstorm cloud, and that's what's visible as a Sprite. Guys, what's interesting about this is this was not observed, or a photo was never taken of this until 1989. It took that long for us to get a record of it because of the high elevation. Scientists think it's actually fairly common, like they happen more than we think. We just don't capture them all that much. And the previous reports were pilots saying they saw these things, but they didn't have any pictures, and people were like, well, maybe you just saw something else, you know. And so this is what it is, and there's some really great pictures. If you look, we didn't have rights to these, but if you Google red Sprite on the internet, you'll see these really cool, they almost look like little jellyfish versions of these.
I feel like that would be terrifying to see, though, as a pilot, based
Yes.
on the charge that has.
It's interesting, and the other thing I forgot to mention is these are actually, they're born from big time heat, but they're actually cold plasma, so they're not hot, but they started from thunderstorms. I don't know, pilots are pretty rugged. They like seeing all that all that stuff. But anyways, I thought that was cool, and some of the videos of them are just amazing.
Okay, so
Pretty
go
cool.
hit Google.
Yeah.
Thanks, Keith.